Stop her. Shh. Hush, hush. Silence in the name of Jesus.
The black church has become performative. It's not church. That's not church. And there's too much worship and not enough reading of the word.
Maybe.
Right. You know, a viral video that came out this week. A video of Shawnee O'Neal. Do you remember Shawnee O'Neal? She is the ex-wife to LA Lakers Shaquille O'Neal. Now she's remarried. She married a pastor or minister. His name is Keion Henderson. He's the Lighthouse church leader. This is the name of his church. Video has begun to circulate of him having to tell a woman to hush as she loudly cried out during worship. Take a look. This is clip 3 and 3A.
I lift my hands in. Hey. Stop her. Shh. Hush, hush. Silence in the name of Jesus. I lift my hands in total. The only voice I want heard is his. Oh, praise.
I always tell people a snippet of video is not the total story. Yeah. So tell me what happened there.
Well, you know, social media is into cuts, not context.
Yeah.
And every suggestion that I got from every naysayer, I've already done. This is a 4-year battle, right?
Oh, this is ongoing.
This is ongoing. So I've already talked to her personally. I'd already had ushers go up to her. I've already had prayer warriors. I've had everything. So she did it publicly after being asked not to.
What is she? Is she crying? Is an emotional?
Well, you know, as a pastor, I know the difference between disturbance and worship. And what people have to understand is that every time you hear a noise in church, it isn't worship. Yeah. And so there has to be order. For instance, it's okay to applaud in this room right now. But if somebody got up and just started clapping right now, I'm sure somebody would bring order to the room. Yeah. And so what I did is I brought order to the room so people could hear God and not her. And I'd do it again if I needed to.
Wow.
All right. So when I saw this video, I cracked up. He said, shh, shh, shh. Hush. So, Shelly, I mean, did he do the right thing? After you saw his explanation? What's that?
The doors to the church are open. Come on, all. Come one, come all. The doors to the church are open. Look, I thought it was hilarious, too. I've been in churches, and, you know, I've seen people shout, and I think some shouting, when people have gone through something, I think some shouting is sincere. I think her, at that particular moment, I think it was just noise. And from what I've read, she does this every week around the same part of the worship service. Again, this is what I read. I don't know if it's true. I don't even know where the church is. I don't even know what is her name? Shawnee O'Neal is.
That's his wife, yeah.
Oh, I don't even know who this pastor was. But I do know when he said hush, she stopped. Mm-hmm. She stopped. I've seen people who are sincerely shouting and maybe having what I'm going to call a praise moment. They don't just stop on hush.
Yeah. What are your thoughts here, T?
That is what I call a man leading his house. That's why I will never, ever be under a woman pastor ever in my life again. And this is the reason why, because he knows what he's talking. As the man, leader of this church, pastor of this church, he followed God's spirit. But he said 4 years he's been hearing this lady. So, I mean, obviously
4 years. I thought it was a couple of weeks.
Yeah, he said they already said something to her and all of that. 4 years. So, I mean, obviously she has some mental issues. So I would sit her down if I was the pastor, but I'm not because I'm a woman. But go ahead, Pastor Henderson. I'm pro man leading his house.
I'm not sure. I think maybe in LA.
Oh, okay.
So I have a couple of questions regarding this. So number one, if it is the case, as he mentioned, that this woman is known to be performative, she is not feeling the spirit or what have you, she's doing this for performance, why was she still on the choir?
That's what I said. I would have shut her down.
I don't see why she couldn't be on the choir.
Oh, no.
No, I don't see why she couldn't be on the
No, she shouldn't be on there.
Well,
No. And this
is
goes
part
to-
of the worship service, right?
No.
I'm not saying that she never has a sincere moment. I don't know. I'm just saying.
For 4
I thought it was
years?
4 years.
I thought it was some weeks.
No,
right?
no, he said
okay,
4 years.
well, to your point, then maybe she brings in the money because if she can sing and get the worship team, revved up and whatever,
That's
then
not
maybe she
true.
helps
That's
bring
not
in the money.
true.
Okay,
But
so
see,
why
that-
you think? Why you
that,
think that?
No,
She's not
I
important.
agree. That may be it.
Oh,
I see,
okay.
but I think that's wrong.
Okay.
That is wrong, and this is what's wrong with a lot of black churches in general. There's too much worship and not enough reading of the word.
Maybe.
Right.
You
That
know,
may be it too.
and so
Yes.
and if he was, again, I have no issue with worship, and I
Right.
do believe that it is real. I remember as a little girl, I'll never forget it. I was sitting next to my grandmother in church. My grandmother was a very short, she was like 4-something foot woman. She was very quiet all the time. And for the first time, sitting there as a little girl next to her, and all of a sudden she started screaming, "Ah! Ah! Ah!" I mean, she just started screaming. She couldn't stop. And I'm looking, and I was like, I got scared. And somebody came and moved me. And she just screamed, and finally she got calmed down. But it was very out of character for her, and I know that was, something she couldn't control. And however, we have seen over the last several years, the black church has become performative, specifically in churches where they have choirs and the music ministry is so big, and they're trying to be and they're trying to be perform. That's not church. That's not church. And so if he was a shepherd, the good shepherd, he should not have had her up there when he knew that she is patterned and to do this type of performance. That's not of God. That is not of God.
It might
She
not be
should
of God, but
up
apparently
there.
it's what sells because the emotionalism. You're right
Yeah,
about that.
that's not right.
I'm not saying I'm not saying that's right. She shouldn't have been up there for 4 years. Then somebody maybe needs to sit Pastor Henderson down. Then if that's the case,
I don't think it's that important for her to be for 4 years. And then to somebody's point, I'm from a Southern Pentecostal holiness, Holy Rollers church, where the church is no bigger than the studio,
right
in Florida. And trust me, I've seen some things way worse than that.
Oh, yeah.
However, performative. It doesn't matter.
Emotionalism.
It's always
emotionalism.
I mean, sometimes it is real, but sometimes you need to sit down.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And I'm glad he did this because she needed to sit down 4 years ago, actually.
Yeah, I totally agree. And again, it's the black church has gone way overboard with this stuff. The highest form of praise, and you can look it up in the Bible, is obedience.
It's the word.
The word,
right.
obedience. Our obedience is the highest form of worship.
She obeyed. She stopped.
No, not to him. Yeah, but again, she needs to be removed. He should have removed her. We shouldn't see her next Sunday.
So then, if she's been there 4 years, then I would even ask, not just why, but what is the church teaching that would encourage her or even allow her to continue doing that? Not even just from the pastor to say something. What about the music ministry or even other other church members? So what teachings are going on there that she would even think, and they have it for 4 years to go on?
It's her. I believe she has mental issues.
No. She doesn't have mental issues.
She's doing this for 4 years. Still the same old shit.
Listen,
I was right.
no
And
mental
he's
issues.
asked her, and the other preachers have asked her to stop, and she's still doing it.
No.
This is what they
this
do
ain't
this, A lot of
They got
choirs-
mental issues.
No.
Yes,
A lot of choirs.
A lot of people in the church got mental issues.
No, it's no mental issue.
That
This
was-
is
she
something.
definitely
This
is
is
one.
what they do, like you
Exactly.
mentioned, to rile up the crowd.
Exactly.
So they can start.
Then why tell her to stop?
All the music and stuff. This is what they do. It's no mental issue.
It's emotionalism.
They're doing it because they know that people would put more money into the church if they.
Absolutely.
That's why I asked her to stop.
Because she was distracting him.
Yeah,
she was
distracting
overriding him.
Yeah.
So
That's
she
what it
was louder than him.
No, she's asked him before. He's asked her before to stop. Why ask her to stop before?
Because he couldn't be heard.
You heard him. He was trying to get something going. It was his
Exactly.
turn to
But
shine.
he's the leader of the
Right.
That's
what
okay.
he was saying. It's okay for her to do it if he's not trying to get something
Exactly.
going. But you heard him. He's like,
So since she overshadowed him, she got to
he's
go.
trying to get something going.
He said the only voice needs to be heard was him and God.
No, he didn't say him. He said
Jesus.
Jesus.
Yeah. Jesus. But
He met. You said it right. He met him.
Yeah.
He met him.
Jesus probably saying, I'm still waiting for my voice to be heard.
Yeah. Exactly. We have to call out this performative stuff in the churches. And what happens now is people don't even want to go to the church if you're not jumping and shouting all over the place. They don't even want to go to these. My church, people call us boring because my pastor is really about teaching and the Bible. So, I've asked people, I've brought people there. They don't want to go. It's boring. They got to go to a church with a good band, a good choir.
A lot of Protestant churches have seen a decline across the board in membership or participation, church going once or twice a week. Participation has drastically declined. And I think it shows up more in the Protestant churches, particularly the black ones, because there's more emotionalism. And I mean, look, it makes sense to me. If you can go to church for emotionalism and performance, and you can go to wherever XYZ club or whatever in performance, then if you got a choice, hey, what difference does it make?
This is a part of the reason that even white churches are getting more radical now, have gotten more radical now. But that's a part of the reason that I'm probably the non-religious person up here. The reason that I came from the church, because I was looking for something at the time Bible-based, strictly Bible-based, and not traditional and any of that stuff. And it's hard to find. Right. And so I don't go to church.
It's hard to find. It is very hard to find. And it's a shame. And again, now don't get me wrong. I love a good choir. I do. I like. It's a time and place for it, but I don't want to be 4:00 service started at 10, and Auntie is running the church, running around the church. I mean, it's this stuff. It's performative. It's performative.
It really is. It really is.
So
but it's a part of the culture.
Yeah.
Culture is also religious.
Right.
Black culture.
Yeah. All right. Well, definitely we will continue to follow that story. I did.